Hello and welcome to Day 3 of Blackboard Academic Essentials. This is Mike Myers and I'm a Faculty Fellow in SIL, the Center for Innovation and Learning at National University. In this short video I'm going to go over the activities that you're going to submit for Day 3 to the Essentials course. So if you navigate to your Blackboard Essentials course, you're going to see this left-hand navigation. I'm going to switch to student mode so that your screen looks the same as mine, because in this course, again, you're going to be the student, not the instructor. So you navigate to Day 3 just like you did for Day 1 and 2. You're going to see the same types of assignments and readings that you did for Day 1 and 2. You can scroll through these presentations, learn about grading assignments in Blackboard. If you scroll down, there's also a presentation on exams, tests, and surveys, how to create and how to deploy them. So once you've gone through this material, you can then start your assignment activities for Day 3. You'll notice that a lot of the systems that we have in place for Blackboard are very similar to what you did in eCollege, with just a little bit different and more involved functionality. So once you've read through all of the presentations on grading and creating and deploying tests, you can go ahead and do those activities in your EDU 600 class. So you navigate back to Day 3, scroll down, and again at the bottom you're going to see this little slide rule and pencil that's going to tell you to do an activity. The checklist is right here that you can download, similar to what you did for Day 1 and Day 2. So you can check these off as you do them. So the first thing you're going to do for Day 3 is actually enter the gradebook area and grade an assignment. So I'm going to go over to my EDU 600 course just like you will, and this is your sandbox course with fake or dummy students in it, but they've actually submitted assignments that you can grade. So the first thing you're asked to do is practice the grading workflow and provide students with feedback. And to do that, you're going to access the Grade Center and find a student paper to grade. In your EDU 600 course, over here on the right, I'm going to scroll down, and you're going to find the Grade Center in this Course Management Control Panel area. From there, you've got some different options. You have Needs Grading that will call up assignments that need grading to you, so you can grade right from there. You can also click on the full Grade Center. That's going to open up the gradebook just like it did in eCollege, where you have this spreadsheet-like view of all the assignments and gradable items in your course. If you only want to see certain items, you can click on Assignments and Tests, and those will only show you, for example, assignments. That'll make it easier for us to find this reflection paper. You can scroll over these columns, and when you do, they'll display for you the full title of the column. So if I scroll over this one, this is where the Week 1 assignment reflection paper is. You can see several of these need grading, and I've actually gone in and graded some of these because I've been presenting these to different faculty. So what I did is I've gone in and submitted as a preview user, and that one needs grading. So that little yellow button tells you that the item needs grading. You then scroll over to this downward arrow button, this radio button, click on it. You'll click on View Grade Details. Then you can click on the option here to grade attempt. What that will do is it'll open up the Grade Center grade assignment page, and unlike eCollege, what it does is it's going to bring that reflection paper to you. In this case, I just posted up some stats information, but I'm going to do this just to show you how you would grade a paper in Blackboard. What you're going to do is you're going to access Manu's paper in your class and do the same thing. So you'll notice in this system that you're going to have, I'll make this a little larger, for grading, it now creates a preview of the submission paper. So you'll see all the text that's been submitted. You'll see the students' comments, so here's I put a comment in. You'll see a output for Safe Assign, so if you've activated this in your class, what it does is this will show you, just like Turnitin, it'll show you how much the paper has been copied from the internet or other sources. You'll be able to download the paper from here by clicking on this downward arrow, so you can download it and save it. By clicking on this little downward arrow, you can grade the paper by rubric, and we already have a reflection rubric that's loaded into this class. You can show the descriptions for the rubric. You can actually put in a little show feedback, and you can type in feedback for every option on the rubric. So a lot of detail in grading that you can do in Blackboard. So here the paper is worth 12 points, so I can go through and grade by clicking on the little radio buttons for each item that's completed, so I can rate it as as innovative or emerging or applying. So these are all described in the rubrics here. Or I can give the paper just an overall score. So I can go through and grade each one, give the student any feedback. When I click Save Rubric, it's going to give that score based upon the buttons I clicked on the rubric. Or I can put in the score manually. I can click over here and give feedback to learner. And then on this left side, in this Crocodoc area, I can add different things directly onto the paper for the student to see. So on this comment radio button here, I can make different types of comments by point or area or text, very similar to the review buttons that you have in Word or in Adobe PDFs. So if I want to click here, I can make a comment. I can comment over an entire area by clicking on the area comment. Again, very similar to what you have in Word when you're reviewing or adding comments. I can add text. I can simply move that around as well by dragging it. If I right-click on it, I can remove that. You can click and highlight different areas, then add text to say something about it. You can strike out. So you have a lot of editing functions built into Blackboard using this Crocodoc feature. You can even draw right on their paper. So when you do this in Blackboard, if you exit out, say you click on something else, you click on and get dumped out of the course or that area, and you leave the page, when you come back it will save to your comments, although if you didn't click submit for the point totals, it may not save that. So if I go back now to that paper, everything I typed in the Crocodoc area will be saved, but the grade points won't be saved because I didn't click submit. So I can quickly add those now. Now once I click submit, that will return all of these markings to the student. So when they go in as a student, they will see the grade, they will see the markings that you put on it. So this is the Crocodoc tool in Blackboard, which gives you multiple ways to interact with your students and give them some great feedback right in the gradebook. I didn't have to download anything, I didn't have to put this into Word and add comments and re-upload it. It's all integrated into the gradebook of Blackboard. Now if I go back out and I go in as a preview user, I'll show you what the students see. I can simply click on Gradebook from What's New. I can click on that reflection paper, and now it'll open it. When they click on it, they'll see all of the comments and markups that you made, and also they'll see the grade. So again, that's the way to do the inline grading workflow. We saw how to complete and attach the grading rubric and provide feedback to the student. So next, what we're going to do is complete a test as a student in Blackboard. So if I stay in this preview mode, I can go back to week 1. So again, I'm a student because I've got that yellow banner up top here. And I go back to week 1, scroll down and take that week 1 test. I can take it just as a student. So again, this is an exam that's embedded in this course. So I'll click Begin. I'll work kind of quickly here just to show you how to do this as a student. In student preview mode, I'm going to complete that test 1, and it shows you how to do that. So I'm going to scroll down. It shows you how to do that in the assignment checklist. So in my EDU 600 course as a student, I'm going to go and take that week 1 test. So I'll scroll down, click on that, click Begin, and I move through this test pretty quickly just so you can get an idea of what students go through. This is just a test for you to practice. I'll click Save Answer. It's given me this banner of time. This test gives you examples of different types of questions that are available in Blackboard. And when I'm done, I'm going to click Save and Submit, and the test is submitted. Once I've done that and I've completed the week 1 test, it's going to give me feedback and answers because that's how the test was set up. I'm going to go ahead and exit preview, but when I do it this time, instead of the default where it says delete the user data, I'm going to keep the preview and user data just like it instructs you to do in your checklist. Scroll down and click Continue, And now when I go back to the Grade Center, you're going to see the grade for that test as Myers Preview user. So I'll click down to the Grade Center, Full Grade Center, and here under my name, Myers Preview, it's going to show that Week 1 test. If I scroll over, here's Week 1 test. And it needs grading because there are some answers that, as an instructor, I'm going to have to go through and grade. So if you exit out of student preview mode and you keep that user data, anything you do there will be saved into the gradebook. So now we've completed taking the test as a student. So next we're going to learn how to create and deploy a test. For that, we're going to go back to our EDU class. There's a couple different ways we can create tests in Blackboard. We can go, of course, to our Tools area, either in Course Tools or down in our Control panel, and click on Test, Pools, and Surveys. Or we can go right to where we want to create it, which if we go to Week 1, we can go click on Assessments and click on Test. So here in the Create Test area, we just click on Create. Notice it generates some help information once we click on that. If we want that to stay permanent, have the help above everything, we just click on the little question mark button over here, click our help on, and then it'll give us a little help tips up at the top here. And if we need more help, you can always click here. It'll tell you about each item area that you're in. So for example, it'll give us some information on help information on creating a test. So we'll give it a name. We'll just call it Practice Test. We can give it a description. We can put in instructions. Click Submit. And here it's telling us the test has no questions, so we can just create questions from here. We can also use questions just like you did in eCollege. You can create question sets or random blocks. Click on Create Question. Let's make it easy. We'll make the first one Essay. You want to add at least 3 different types of questions to your practice exam. We can give it a title if we like. We can type in the text. So for an essay we can say, please write about some topic. You can give a sample answer. We'll just say this to be determined. You can add rubrics as well. You can select a rubric or create a new one. You can add keywords or categories to it so that if you want to use this exam later you can. And you can add instructor notes. So we just click Submit. By default in our test opening area it makes everything 10 points, but if I want to change that I can just click on it, make it worth 2 points, and then click Update. So we've gone ahead and we've created our test, named it. We're working on adding the 3 questions. So if we add another question, we can make one true false. Type in our text here. Give any feedback. Again, you have the content editor, so you can do the same thing that you did for your announcements. You can add text, pictures, video files. So now we've got 2 questions. We can add another one. We can also click on this little Add Question button. We can select something like fill in the blank. We can change the points for this one just by selecting it. So if we want these to be 2 points each, we can change that to 2. Click Update, and we've got our 3 questions in our test. And we can click OK. Now to deploy the test, we're going to go back to the area where we want to deploy it. So we click on Week 1, and we're going to click on Assessments, click on Test, and now instead of Create we're going to just click on this Practice Test, click Submit. It'll call up the test options page, and from here we can deploy the test. So we can choose to display the descriptions or not. show the instructions or not. We can open it in a new window. To deploy it, we want to make the link available, so we'll click that to yes. We can add an announcement if we like. Here we can add things like multiple attempts, just like you saw in the options for eCollege. You can force completion, you can have a timer, you can set a password, you can display the test during certain times, so make it available during certain times for the students to take the exam. You can add a due date, you can grade the test. You can also hide the results completely if you want this to not go in the gradebook at all. If you want the students just to take the test for their own benefit, you can click on this one. You have the same options for showing feedback to the students, so you can click on all answers, correct or submitted. You can present the test all at once, and you can also randomize it. Once you click submit, the test will be deployed. We go back to week 1 and we scroll down. We'll see that practice test right here. So then if we check it, we can enter student preview mode. So now we'll see what the students see. Again, click on week 1, scroll down, and now we'll see the practice test that we can take. So that's how we know we've deployed the test. It's now available in student mode. So what you'll do is once you've completed all these activities, you'll save this to your hard drive. Click on Day 3 activity back in your Essentials course. Browse your computer and submit your checklist for grading. Then your facilitator will grade your submission. They'll go back and check your EDU 600 class to make sure you've done all the activities needed for the training. Those are all the activities for Day 3, grading assignments, creating and deploying tests. Once you've submitted that assignment for Day 3, the Day 4 activities, you'll have some references to read for online guides and support. You'll have a short presentation on that for Day 4. There are no assignment activities due for Day 4, so you're done working in your EDU 600 class. All you need to do for Day 4 is read through the materials, do your post-assessment, which is down here in the Day 4 screen, and the last thing you'll do is take your end of training survey. You click on this for the survey to give SIL some feedback on your training. And then you've completed the Blackboard Essentials course. You can click on your progress here, My Progress, which is the My Grade integration, to make sure you've done all the activities for the training. And then once you've completed it, you will have this Essentials course as a resource, and you'll still have your EDU 600 course to practice with. I hope this training was valuable to you, and remember, the SIL team is always here to help you. Give us a call or an email. We're here to help you with your transition to Blackboard.